Hello and welcome. I'm Lynn of Lynn X Stitches Creates, and welcome to my Flosstube channel about counter cross stitch and the project bags I make. It is Monday, July 17th, 2023. This is episode 91. Thank you so much to all my returning subscribers. I greatly appreciate you visiting every week and commenting and just everything. I appreciate you being here. And if you're new, I hope you like, subscribe, come back, visit again, comment, ring the bell, all the things. It's been a crazy week. You had an extra video on Wednesday, my unboxing video for the Black Needle Society Frogwarts Retreat. It was, besides all the goodies we got in the box, which if you're interested you can go and watch that video or check out some pictures on my Instagram in the next couple of days. It was a digital retreat. It was totally online, but the most exhausting retreat I have ever participated in. I had heard that and all the stories were true. So what it is, Frogwarts is based, it's Harry Potter themed, but of course instead of Hogwarts, which, you know, copyrights and all that kind of thing, it's Frogwarts. It's for stitchers. Everybody that wants to compete is split up into houses, and then those houses are split up into teams of 7 people. During the retreat, there are stitching challenges where you take a starting picture with a password and then an ending picture with the password, and you count how many stitches, you divide that by 25, and you get the number of points for what you stitched. Then there's stash dives, where you are doing a scavenger hunt for things that you have, and sometimes you're restricted to cross-stitch patterns and floss, and sometimes it's cross-stitch patterns and project bags, and sometimes it's needle minders and cross-stitch patterns. Sometimes it's anything at all in the room, which I messed up on that one because they were really quick getting off, and when they said anything, I just assumed anything cross-stitch, but it turned out anything in the room was up for grabs. So I did what I could. I tried my best. I did, you know, my team did not do bad. We did pretty well. You know, we were a pretty good team. Made a couple of new friends, but we did not win. We were not, our house was not the winning house, and our team did not have the MVP for our house. So I was on a Ravenclaw team, and the overall winner for Ravenclaw was on a different team. So, but you know, we didn't do bad, so I'm not upset. If you think you might do this retreat, it's always in July. The boxes will go on sale in January of 2024 for year 5, each year is themed on a book. So this year was year 4. It was based on the Goblet of Fire. So those themes had a lot to do with the challenges. So it was a good year for me, because if you're familiar with Harry Potter, in the 4th book, there's a big dance during Christmas time, the Yule Ball. So some of the things that we were looking for were more Christmas themed than Halloween themed, and you know I'm more a Christmas stitcher, so I did better on that one. I lost all my points on my first scavenger hunt because I didn't understand you had to have your pictures all posted before the 30 minutes was up. I thought you had 30 minutes, you posted your pictures, and then you had like 15 more minutes to comment on how they fit your things. So I lost a lot of points on that one, because that was, my first one was a really good one too, but you live, you learn, you do better. And for the most part, the other ones were better. I think there was one that I had like 3 points because I just couldn't find anything. I was tired, my brain shut down. At one point yesterday, my right arm, it still kind of hurts when I lift it. I have a big tight muscle from all the stitching. And I was two-handed stitching. My shoulders are a little sore too. But, you know, it was a lot of fun. They create rooms on Facebook, and you can go in the rooms and sit and chat with people while you're stitching. Most of the time when you're doing a challenge, you don't talk, but sometimes, you know, you can, depending upon what you're doing. I found that in an hour, if I have just fill-in to do, I can do over 200 stitches in the hour. If I'm counting, it's more around 100. But there were people on there that were getting 300 and over in an hour, which I don't know how they did it. But the overall MVP, who had the highest score for everything over the weekend, was my friend Megan, the Frozen Crafter. You can check her out. She's on Flosstube. She and I were roommates with Becca Sambry Stitches last year at the Acorns and Threads retreat, and we're going to be roommates again this year at Camp Black Needle in 2 weeks. So we were very excited for her. Incredible prize package she got from the Black Needle Society. It kind of made all the craziness really worthwhile. The MVP for each house got a lot, but she got a crazy amount. I was texting her saying, and you're going to remember your roommate if you don't want any of those patterns. She got a stack like this big of patterns. It was crazy, amongst other things. I mean, that's not all she got. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of crazy. People were asking me different times over the weekend how I was liking it. I'm just really tired. Because for me, stitchers from all over the world, there were people from Germany, I want to say the UK, and Australia. I'm not sure where else. That would be something interesting to know, and I'll put that on my form to the Black Needle Society as a suggestion that they should put out, you know, where the people are from. Just because it would be interesting to see. So we're all different time zones, and they base everything, because Black Needle Society is based in Missouri, they base it on the Central Time Zone. So after, and they had Quidditch too, which is another kind of like a digital dive is how they do it, scavenger hunt. I did not participate in Quidditch, and I'm happy I didn't, because that gave me a couple hours, each evening to kind of decompress for a little bit before the last 2 evening challenges. But for me, for my time zone, those last 2 challenges happened at 10 and midnight. So I was getting to bed about 1 every night during the retreat. And then there was one challenge I forgot to take. I didn't forget to take it. I didn't take the picture. I had my camera. I hit it. It kind of flashed. But what it was doing was it was changing from regular picture to portrait. So it didn't take the picture. So when I got done with the challenge, I didn't have a starting picture. I couldn't post it. So I had to do what they call a time turner event, which meant I could either stay up and do it at 1 a.m. in my time, or I could get up in the morning and do it at 5 a.m. or 7 a.m. So I did that. Did I do it twice or just once? I want to say I did it twice, because Saturday night I was just too tired. I hit my wall and I said, forget it, I can't do this midnight challenge. And I was in bed about 11:45, and I got up at 5 and did that time turner. And because I had things on my mind that I wanted to do during the day and finish, because most of the events were kind of split up, where you did an event, you had like, you know, a good hour, not quite a full hour in between to take your pictures, post everything. There might have been a live in between things, and then the next challenge. Well, Sunday, the last day, was not. It was 6 straight hours of stitching. It started at 9 a.m. my time, which means all the people, Megan, who was the MVP, for her it was 6 a.m. was the first challenge, all the way through until 5 my time. And you had to have, no. See, I can't even remember now. It's such a blur. It was just, but it was back to back to back. There was no break in between. So you had to kind of adjust your stitching style and decide when you were going to say, okay, that's enough for this hour. I can't do any more. I'm going to stop, take my picture, go to the bathroom, come back, get my starting picture, and then get going on the next one. So, but having said all that, I do have stitching to show. I know we're 11 minutes in. Because I'm not usually a stitch counter, it was interesting counting stitches. For the, I should have counted how many, I forget, 25, 29 challenges, stitching challenges we had throughout the week from Wednesday until yesterday afternoon, Sunday afternoon. I stitched over 3,500 stitches, which netted my team 125 points. Now that's not to say that's all I stitched, because I was stitching in between some of the challenges and during some of the longer breaks, like during the Quidditch games, to outline things so that I had something to just fill in during the actual challenge. So it's probably, it would not be wrong to say I did at least 4,000 stitches in the weekend, if not more. I did not finish the retreat piece, but that's okay. It was a busy weekend. So let me show you some stitching. One of the prompts was to stitch a piece from a magazine, and I had started for Magazine Monthly, Carolyn Zook's group. I had started a magazine piece, and I had used punch needle and primitive stitcher. It's fall of 2021, so this pattern is that I'm going to show you is now available for purchase, but at the time it was just in the magazine. It's called Bathing in the Asters. It's by Stephanie Webb, Lindy Stitches, and I'll put in my first picture from the weekend, and here it is now. Put it up here. So I didn't put in any more on the cat, but I got in all of the pumpkin. And I changed the color of the pumpkin. The pumpkin that the cat's sitting on originally is like a white one. And I had this, it's Fragrant Cloves. It's by Gentle Art, I think. Let's see. And I just, Fragrant Cloves, sorry, by Gentle Art. And I just love this color. So I was using it on Coeur de Sorciere by Tralala, and I just fell in love with that color. So that's what I decided to do the pumpkin in that. So made some good progress. I like it. So I used it for the magazine prompt, and there was a second prompt, stitch on something with black. It was another one, I forget. So, let's see here. I also worked on Poltergeist Pirates. I know it's not the 19th, but they wanted something with bubbles, and I conferred with my group And at the bottom of the ship, there are some things. Now, we debated, are they bubbles or are they barnacles? But I went with the theory that they're not on the ship if you look at it. They're on the water. So they're bubbles, not barnacles. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I don't know if I got points for it or not, unless you're a winner, you know, you don't know your own individual points. But I'll put up where I started. And this is where I am now. So I started this whole mast here, which surprisingly, with all the color changes that are in here, I think there's 6 colors just in this one little section that I did. And I surprisingly did a lot in the time. I was very pleased with the amount I got done. So that was that one. And this Wednesday is the 19th. If you are working on Poltergeist Pirates by Glendon Place and you would like to join our Facebook chat group, let me know. Message me. You can DM me on Instagram. That's probably the easiest. And I can add you to the Facebook chat and you can join us. We usually stitch at least an hour, if not 2, every 19th of the month. We do that because the 19th of September is Talk Like a Pirate Day. So that's how we picked that. You know, it's just kind of a random thing. But that helps us all get that piece out because it is a lot. It is not a small piece. And with the color changes in there, it can be a little daunting, but it gives us a chance to get it out, get some work done on it, because we all love it. In August, we're actually going to work on it at Camp Black Needle, because that's where many of us, not all of us that are in the chat group, we were together last summer and started it there, so we're going to work on it then. I don't want to show you that one yet. I worked on my British Isle Sal by Caterpillar Crossstitch for a prompt. I'm trying to think what the prompt was. Oh, it was work on something with by a foreign designer. So I picked out this one. And so I put up, and as you know, this Sal is now finished. I'm still working on the 5th part, but I'm getting there. I'm pretty well done. So in the hour, I was able to get this rock in and start on the water. There's a ship there. So that's where I am with the whole piece. So part 5 is pretty close to done. So then I only have part 6 to do and it'll be done. So hopefully things are settling down a little bit now that campus, or now that Frogwarts is done. So, and let's see, I had to stitch on something with a sock, because if you're familiar with Harry Potter, in book 4 we meet Dobby, the house elf, and he gets freed. And so surprisingly, with all the Christmas projects I have going, even my grandson's Christmas stocking, nothing with a sock except for Noel Sampler by Satsuma Street. Got the Christmas stocking there. This was, I think 2021 was a Sal, and it was 4 blocks at a time, and it's a lot. It's beautiful, but it's a lot of stitching, and I think that's just kind of Satsuma Street's deal. But I had the bell done, and I started working on the block next to it. So that's like, I think it was like 175 stitches just right there. Definitely 150, because just this red line that I did is 80. So I forget how many were here. But at least I got it out. July stitching. You know, Christmas in July. That was kind of nice. then I was working on a lot of the retreat, the prompts for the this year's sampler. They're band samplers that Katie Landis of the Black Needle Society has been creating. This is year 4. If you're familiar with the stories, there's the boot, that's the port key. You've got the Bobaton's carriage, you've got the Durmstrang ship. There's the mer people that were one of the challenges. The dragon was the first challenge with the golden egg. You've got the goblet of fire. And here's the graveyard. Mad Eye Moody's flask in his eye. And of course the maze, which is the 3rd challenge. So it's a lot of stitching, and there were people that were able to get it done in 2 weeks. We all started together on July 2nd, so that everybody had 2 weeks from July 2nd until yesterday was 2 weeks, 14 days. And there were people that got it done. And if you were able to get it done in that 2 weeks, your house, your team got an extra 100 points. So it was well worth it if you could do it. I could not. I never even quite finished the dragon. I have it on my 6-inch Q-snap because I was running out of Q-snaps trying to get everything. But I made a lot of progress. My dragon is almost complete. It just got to the point where if I wanted to get a lot of stitching in, I couldn't do a lot of counting. So there's a lot of counting right here to finish off my dragon. But I really like him. I was able to do the whole goblet of fire. And I did the Quidditch rings, but didn't quite finish them. This one right here, there's a counting error, so I'm gonna have to go back and fix that. But you know, it's getting there, and I will finish it. I think I've decided I'm going to take this piece and make it into a project bag when it's done. So it will get finished. Okay, and then the other 2 pieces I worked on, oh, where is that? Oh, I'm missing one. Where did I put it? I'm going to have to stop because I thought I grabbed it off the couch. I have to remember where I put it. Hold please, I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right, so another piece that we had to stitch on, which I didn't have anything for, was stitch on something with a mask. And I decided that I would get the bat pig from Petal Pusher. If you've been with me, you know that Ashley, my son's fiance, stitched this for her sister. I thought it was so cute, so I got it to stitch too. And here is where that is. That's about 250 stitches. Not quite. I'm 19 short. 19 stitches short of 250. So I was so loopy when this one was posted. I started it yesterday. It was a new start. I put in my post, bat pig. I don't know if any of the graders noticed it because they were tired too, but yeah, I was getting loopy. So, okay, now we're to my 2 finishes. This first one has been a long time coming. If you have been watching me almost since the beginning, I meant to look up when I actually started this one. But if you've been with me for a while, you've known this has been in, I've been working on this one. I love this one. It's Coeur de Sorciere by Tralala. I absolutely love this piece. And originally, I was not going to put October 31st on there. But I used it for 2 different challenges. I don't remember what the first challenge was I used her for. Oh, Stitch on Something with a Dress was the first challenge I used it for. And then I finished it up with Stitch on Something with 3. So here she is in all her beautiful glory. So you can see the fragrant cloves of the pumpkins, and I just love her. I actually took out so that because to get points, because if you finish things during the retreat, you got other points. So for finishing her, I got 8 points for my team besides the stitching points. And to make sure I had at least 200 to do, I took out all her skin and put it back in over 1, because Susan, Floss Whisperer at Keepsakes, has been encouraging me to do things like that. My Prairie Schooler Santa, I did that on. And it's difficult for me, especially when I'm tired. But I did it. So I don't know how well you're going to see, but her face and her hand are now over 1. And her legs. Her legs don't show up as much, but her face does. And I really like the look. So Susan, if you're watching, it's perfect. So now that I've shown you, I will take this over to Barbara and see what magic she can work on it, because it's so pretty. I love her. And then I talked about this a little bit last week, because when I realized that I could not finish the retreat piece during Frogwarts, I just wasn't going to be able to do it. It was just too much for me. I refocused and used my retreat pieces for hands-on design. The retreat I'm going to in Denver on Friday, this coming Friday, I'll be flying to Denver. The retreat is Saturday and Sunday, and Kathy Haberman of Hands-On Design is going to teach us how to finish 3 pieces. So I've been working on what's going to be a tray, and it was great to work on this during the retreat because I could outline things, and it was a great piece for fill-in. But I didn't quite we had to have everything submitted by 4:30 Central, 5:30 my time, and I didn't make it. I was just too tired, and the border was too intricate. I was learning how to do the herringbone, and I didn't make it by that time. But I did finish it last night. So here is the piece that's going to be turned into a tray, either Saturday or Sunday coming up. So, and you know, the pictures are okay, but this in person is beautiful. And I don't know if you can tell, but it looks like someone took wool pieces and, you know, did all the wool applique. That's what this looks like, with these stitches and the herringbone around the outside edge. It's gorgeous. I love it so much. I am so excited now, because these aren't really my colors, but just the finished product, it's like, ooh, it's so pretty. So I can't wait to put it together. Kathy, if you get to watch this beforehand, love it, love it. So now what I have to continue working on for next weekend, I don't think I'm stitching tonight at this point, because it's kind of late. I went to dinner with my daughter and her family, because my grandson wanted to talk to me over the weekend, and Grandma was not answering her phone. So this is perforated paper. This is one piece for it, and then this will be the front page, and it goes, I think it's almost like it goes straight across, but it makes it has rounded edges. So that'll be the front of the needle book. And then I have the back to do, which I think says wrought by my hand and all that. Chances are I am not going to get the third piece done. I mean, it just looks like only 2 out of the 3 are going to get done this week. But the third piece is a hexy pincushion. I might get one of the pieces done. There's no pictures. I can't show you what that piece would look like. I only have the pattern. I don't know, maybe I could get one of those done. One piece. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I won't do the back of the needle book. I'll just do the pin. I don't know. We'll see where my brain takes me over the next couple of days. You'll find out next Monday when I come back. So yeah, so I think that is all my stitching. I brought a lot of my stash. Well, I tend to keep, my craft room is more for sewing, and I tend to keep my patterns and my stitching fabric in my sunroom where I stitch. I do have my floss here because I have my Bisley, but I took one drawer out that has some of my specialty floss and brought that downstairs. I have a box of specialty floss that I took down to the sunroom. So I had those 2 things. It was like every stash dive I thought, oh, I have this someplace else. So I grabbed it and brought it in to the sunroom. So I'll put in a picture of what my sunroom currently looks like. It's not as bad as some people's, but you know, those stash dives, you start sorting through everything and all your project bags, and you're trying to remember. And with some of the scavenger hunts, there were words that were in quotations, which meant they had to be on the pattern. They had to be a part of the pattern. They couldn't just be like, to give you an example, one of the words was mom. So I had a magazine that had a pattern of a lady with a lady on it, and I said that was mom. Okay. There were some flosses that had the name red in it. So like Red Schoolhouse was one that I used for red. Okay. But other ones were specific. Like you had to have the word sound on your pattern. And I don't have a lot of patterns, surprisingly, that have words on them. Do I have a pattern with the word sound on it? Yes, I do. And it came from the Black Needle Society. Did I see the word sound on that pattern when I was tearing through it in my 15 minutes that I had? Of course not. Or 30 minutes. So I missed that one. But, you know, it was fun. But I still have to clean up that mess. I kind of left the house today because I hadn't been out of the house since Wednesday. And I decided I needed to clean up and leave. So I did. I was gone all afternoon. But one of the places I went while I was gone was to Keepsakes, and I picked up the Heart and Hand Any Town, Tiny Town pattern that was created for Keepsakes for their 25th anniversary. And here it is. So they made it into a drum, but there is the pattern. And all things that are in Sharonville. Here is Keepsakes with our 310 the cat. You know, we got the barbershop, we've got the Already Cafe, there's the bookstore that was the charity for StitchCon 2022. So very cute pattern. I'm looking forward to starting it. It came with the buttons that you need to put on there. I'm not really sure where they are. Oh, on the apple trees. So, on the trees, there are the little tiny buttons. So, that is cute. I have plans to do this. But other than that, I did not win any drawings. Katie's phone was broken as far as I was concerned. My number was 99. She called every number that ended in 9 except mine. And I'm not kidding when I say that. She called practically every single one. It is what it is. You know, sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. But, okay. So, that is that. I am going to Denver for the Heart and Hand retreat. Not Heart and Hand. Yes. No. Hands on Design. Sorry. H's. Hands on Design this Friday. I will be going to Camp Black Needle August 4th, I believe it is. 2nd. August 2nd. So 2 weeks. I will be going to the Crazy Woman Retreat in Wyoming in September. I am on the list for the Acorns and Threads Pacific Northwest Summit, the wait list. I have not heard anything yet. If I don't get in personally, I will be doing it digitally. But I'm really hoping, because Satsuma Street and I believe it's Ink Circles are the two designers. So I'd really like to go in person. And then October, the end of October, is the Sweater Weather retreat that Colleen Rebel Stitcher is putting on in Philadelphia. So I've got a couple of busy months, and I've got a lot of sewing to do. So, yeah. And if you got the Classy Neutrals box by Bestitch Me and got the bag in it, I hope you're enjoying your bag. I know a bunch of people told me over the weekend that they just got their box and they love the bag. So, yeah, I'm doing trunk show for Camp Black Needle. I have nothing in here to show you right now that I can put my hands on. Hopefully at some point I'll put some bags for sale back on Instagram, but I'm doing so many boxes and trunk shows that, and I want a life other than sewing, so I enjoy it, but I love cross-stitching more. So I'm rambling now. Midwest goodbye. It's very easy to pick up, so I will see you next Monday. I hope you have a great week. If you were part of Frogwarts, rest up. I know all my Aussie friends were saying they have jet lag now because they stayed up and we're up, you know, for, you know, it's nighttime during most of our daytime. So they were staying up overnight and to participate when all of us were. So they're all jet lagged. So everybody rest up. Drink lots of water in the heat. I hope you're out of the way of the wildfires. We're getting smoke here again in Cincinnati. It's crazy. But yeah, have a good weekend. Stitch lots.